Absolutely. Um, so just out of curiosity, did have you covered an Apple release? Had you covered an Apple release before the iPhone launch, or was this like the first your first foray into this world?
This was the biggest one by far. I mean, remember before that, iPod was a big thing, and we had done stories about it, but nothing like this. I mean, this was otherworldly, yeah, for sure.
And do you remember, you mentioned this, you touched on this, but I'm curious, like when you spoke to people, obviously to get in line and wait for hours, those people must have had a sense like this is an amazing thing. I want to be the first to get my hands on one. But did did you interview people who really had a sense how life-changing this technology was? I mean, it's just thinking about the even the BlackBerry, I'm sure that a lot of people have at that time, or the other phones that were popular in the market. This was so different and just this seamless user experience. Like I I'm trying to think of any other product that I've seen or like gotten to experience when it first came out that was as influential to society as this. And I can't.
Well, when you think about it, even by virtue of the way that this all worked at the time, right? There were no pre-orders because you didn't have an iPhone to pre-order your new phone on, right? There was no, I mean, certainly you could message people, and that kind of thing, but the lack of connectivity that we had as a society when it comes to technology prior to 2007 when the first iPhone came out was is really quite astounding when I mean, think of all of the things that you do now with your iPhone. I'm almost embarrassed to say that my phone is probably never more than 2 feet away from me 24 hours a day. It's either in my pocket, on my desk, or on my nightstand. That's it. I mean, there's my children aren't as close to me during the day for large swaths of time as my iPhone is.
Yeah, it's so true. I was before speaking to you, I was thinking about how if I was going to leave something behind, I'd rather be my wallet or my keys before my phone because I have both on my phone.
They actually did a survey of young people and they said, what would be more, oh, what was the word they used? What, oh, they said, I'm going to use the wrong word here, but like, what would be scarier to lose, your iPhone or your virginity? And all of these young people said, oh, my iPhone, for sure.
Oh
But
my gosh.
I mean, think of that as nuts.
Absolutely. And yes, it is. And is there so just in being in the consumer product world, can you think of any other product or brand that has the brand loyalty that Apple has built? I can't.
When it comes to brand loyalty, uh, no. I mean, I have tried because listen, between you and me, Samsung makes a far better product. I mean, their technology is far better. The phones are slicker. The interfaces are better. They do way more. It always tickles me when Apple comes out with a new feature like Face ID or fingerprint technology or what now you can erase, people in the background of your photos. Like, and then the Google Pixel people and the Samsung users are like, we've done that for years. Like Apple, you are not inventing anything. You're actually paying catch up here. And I've tried over the years. Trust me, I have a great relationship with the folks at Samsung, and I've tried many times, really earnestly, to I'm going to switch. I'm going to use it. I'm going to be an Android device user. It's a better phone. It has more technology. I am so, and I'll give it a whirl for like a month and I always come back. I'm just so deeply entrenched into the ecosystem of iPhone because my family is as well. It's where we share pictures of my children. It's where we FaceTime my, grandma and grandpa. It's where even the difference between a green text message and a blue text message, right? I mean, we've all had that feeling of like, oh, they're green. Nobody likes
Fair
that.
green. Yes, exactly. Do you and just out of curiosity, what year did you first get an iPhone? or in what generation was it? Do you
So it
remember?
took me a while. So I was a Android user, obviously, as was everybody, right? And here's the thing too, like, do you remember what that was like when you used to go to the store, the cell phone store, and they would have all of the phones, and they'd have maybe three or four that were free with your plan, and then of course you could buy. I would never consider buying a phone. I mean, you would go in, and that was the excitement of renewing your contract. You got to go and you got to pick out a new phone. And I remember way back in the day, actually, when I first moved to Dallas. So this is like 21 years ago. And the practice of porting your cell number to a new carrier was just becoming a thing, right? And we sat down with Singular. I mean, that's how long ago this is. That company's not even around anymore. And they were talking about phone porting, and we were teaching consumers how to do it and what it would look like. And he was showing me some of their new devices. So this is about 2003, 2004. And I remember he showed me a phone with a camera on it. And I thought to myself, that's silly. I mean, why would I ever take pictures with my phone? You know, and when you look at what Apple has done, they have ingratiated themselves into every part of our technology experience. It's not just communication, right? It's all of the things. It's the files. It's the, I mean, I use my iPhone, or really any phone at this point, to make payments. I pay my mortgage on it. I book my airline travel. I send pictures. I take pictures. I communicate with people. It monitors my heart health. I mean, it really is amazing what technology has done. But frankly, what's even more amazing is how disconnected this younger generation of people feels, even though they live in a world where everybody is just a tap away.
Yeah, that's so true. And that's, I don't know, a little sad, maybe.
It's the number one complaint we get. I mean, we do stuff all the time with like Gen Z and millennials, and like it's so hard to meet people. I'm having trouble meeting people. It's a little sad, right? I mean, here you are, the entire world is at your fingertips, and you've forgotten how to walk up to somebody and say, I mean, think about it. Back in the day, you would go up to somebody who was wearing a watch and say, "Hey, what time is it?" And you'd strike up a conversation, and you might marry that person in the end. Like that's how you met your future wife, you know. Now, if you want to know what time it is, you reach into your pocket and you pull out your iPhone, and there's no communication with anybody else. It's very lonely.
Yeah. Wow. And to think like you working that long day in June 2007 to now, how far our society has evolved because of that rectangular little product is pretty
Yeah.
incredible.
I think the interesting thing as well is now when you look at it, I mean, remember again, back in the day, you'd get the new iPhone and then a new iPhone would come out and I mean, first of all, at the very beginning, and it was brilliant, you could only get iPhone on AT&T. They had an exclusive contract with iPhone. It was the only carrier that carried it. So that was really great for AT&T. They got a lot of new customers, right? And then over time that expired and then it opened up to other carriers. But the excitement of getting the new iPhone. I mean, remember when people would track their UPS driver and Facebook would be flooded with, oh, look, I got the new phone and, the pre-orders. And then maybe yours would be delivered the night before the store actually opened. And oh, what a big deal that was. But when you look at it now, it's very interesting because the launch of the new iPhone at this point, it would have to do my dishes and cook me dinner for me to stand outside of a store and wait for one. The technology is so advanced. I mean, I think I'm rocking an iPhone 15. It's certainly not the latest one, right? It's become so advanced. And now the new thing with Gen Z is like the iPhone 13, like that's like cool, right, to them because they look at this stuff and think, why do I need to spend all of this money on a brand new device when this other one that I have just is really kind of just as what? So that the camera could be 50 million pixels instead of 49 million megapixels. So I think that Apple really has a little bit of an uphill battle right now in terms of iPhone sales because the devices are very expensive and they just don't do enough differently to cause somebody who already is a captive audience or a captive customer to then pay to have essentially the same experience all over again.
It's clear Apple products have advanced technology and changed the way we engage with the world. Do you remember what versions of the iPhone you've perhaps owned over the years? We'll leave you with this blast from the past. Here's an Apple techie explaining how the first iPhone worked in June of 2007.
And sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's not so fast. When you're in a slow zone, it's sort of glacial, and it can very casually loads the pages, and you go a little nuts.
Show me your favorite thing on it.
Okay, well, see, this thing is, when you just type in a zip code and pizza, it'll show you all the pizza places. And you could click one and press it, and let's order some pizza. There it goes.
It's that easy.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, we're not going to order, I guess.
And then, as far as how much music can you put in it?
Not as much as the really big full-size iPods, as enough as maybe the smaller iPods. Right now in this iPhone, excuse me, I have 700 songs, one very long movie, like a 3-hour movie, and 3 half-hour television episodes, probably 500 pictures, photographs. I could take pictures, and my email and contacts. So that's not bad for 8 gigs. If you're buying it, I'd say as much as it costs, 500 or 600, spend the extra 100 and get the extra storage.
What about people waiting for the next version to come out? Because a lot of people are saying, well, it's popular now, it's a big thing now, but maybe if I give it 6, it better. Let's just do another. What are we looking at right now?
Okay, so this is the main page, the home page,
this is the menu?
And there's only one button on the iPhone. And this is an interesting development for those who follow Apple, because they like as few buttons and things sticking out as possible. And the only thing that this button does, it takes you to this screen. From this screen, you can go anywhere. So you could look at your calendar, and you could go back to the home. This is text messaging. Which works very nicely, but I have a little complaint with it, is you don't do instant messaging with it. And I'd like to do instant messaging. I hope that's added later on. We can check the weather. And
Can I check to see if tickets are going? Oh, that's nice. Okay, what about if I want to see if tickets are going on sale for something?
Yeah, well, then you'd go to the web.
Okay.
And you would just type tickets.com or something like that.
Right.
Or if you're looking for like a show, you type Broadway.com or whatever, and you'd be able to buy it. Last night I did my first blog item from the iPhone. I went to my blog software and tapped out a blog item and posted the first item I think ever posted on a blog from the iPhone.